Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a neurologically based social communication and information processing disorder, which also impairs executive functioning. Individuals with autism often have challenges with their communication skills and difficulty understanding others. They can withdraw from or avoid social interaction. It is important to try and diagnose children with autism as early as possible to initiate intervention techniques and approaches. Research also shows that genetic factors are the cause for autism. However, it is unclear which specific genes are responsible. It is generally believed that autism is likely to have multiple causes, including some prenatal factors that result in the common symptoms of autism. Signs of autism in children can usually be noticed around 2 years of age. These include not being able to get the child's attention or communicating simple tasks, language barriers, so they may, if they do have some language, it may be quite literal, so they will struggle with concepts or ideas that require more speculation or inquiry. They often use few or no words and use repetitive patterns or words and talk only about a few topics, so this could be their favourite animal or something like that. They have reduced social interaction, so they often find it hard and difficult to build and maintain relationships, as they have difficulty reading the intentions, motivations, or reactions of others. Sensory difficulties are also apparent regarding their sight, sound, touch, taste, and sense of smell. Certain everyday noises or busy situations will seem overwhelming or stressful. Repetitive activity is common for children with autism, as they often have restricted and repetitive range of behaviour with an intensity on certain interests or focuses. So they may focus on a certain aspect of a toy, such as the wheels on a car, instead of actually playing with it or playing make-believe. This can impact the classroom, as these things can all impact the child regards to making friends with their peers. This will be harder as there's a lack of understanding of each other. There's a misconception that children with autism often don't want friends or are unemotional, but this is often not the case. It's just how they're perceived to be because they don't actually know how to interact and make friends. They'll also have problems taking instructions from the teacher and communicating simple tasks. Sensory difficulties will also impact, so if there's a loud assembly or something in the school, this may be really difficult for the ASD student and could overwhelm them. They can become anxious and distressed, so a carer may be able to calm them down, or headphones or another resource could be implemented. Change of routine or simple tasks, interactions in the playground can also be difficult or seem stressful. Strategies and resources. So visual processing abilities are often much greater, so the visual presentation of information is recommended and is a critical tool for intervention and support to achieve learning goals. This is why cue cards, so with a hand as a stop sign, stop what you're doing, are useful. Hand gestures when explaining things. Reward charts for self-reflection and management of their behaviour, so they can visually see how they're behaving and if they should change that. Visual technologies and daily visual schedules, so the student has structure and doesn't get overwhelmed during transitions of activities and knows what's happening next. Classroom arrangement is also important, so the student can know where everything is and feel comfortable in their classroom environment, and know where a quiet area is, so if they need to have a moment to themselves, they can do this. Regular training for teachers is of course necessary to keep up with emerging technologies and be aware of the best way to assist ASD students in your classroom. So the teach approach is considered really useful. This can be organised by your school app or accessed online. Positive behaviour support models are also useful for self-management and to keep ongoing management and reflection of the student's progress. This is really important because obviously every child is different, so monitoring the individual's behaviour in various areas and the stimuli that causes the problems is a key way to manage autistic children, while still aiming to involve them in as many activities as possible Something I've reflected on since doing this assignment, and I haven't heard mentioned often, is raising awareness about ASD students, so that other students and colleagues have access to this information and know how to respond and interact with these students. Especially in a primary school setting, many students may have no idea how to interact or be aware of their personality and features of an ASD student. So this can help down break barriers between students, stop othering, and hopefully help the ASD student integrate into the schooling environment better, which also supports the research of ASD students benefiting from being within a regular classroom environment and interacting with other students. And this is my poster. Thank you.